At the tack house, Victoria asks Claire if she got any sleep. She says she had a dream about her dad and couldn't get back to sleep. She marvels over a gift he gave her from Myanmar. Victoria tells her he spent all of the time he spent with her a gift. Claire wanted to ride the carousel with him, but now he's gone, and that will never happen. Claire recalls how Cole sung her to sleep when she was sick. It was so bad. They laugh as Victoria says it kept her awake too. Claire tried to imagine it last night to help her sleep, but it made her sad. They go over missing him while he was away and wishing he didn't take that trip that made him sick. Victoria urges Claire to remember their good times. Remember all the wonderful memories they have together. They marvel over not hearing from the family in Nice. Claire tells Victoria she's sorry her mom isn't there. They hug. Victoria has to find a way to stay strong. She reveals she told Katie and Johnny this morning. They're with friends, but she wishes their dad could be there with them. Victoria has to make arrangements for Cole to be cremated and prepare a memorial service. Claire's surprised she seems to be out of tears. She worries she didn't learn how to grieve, and she won't get it right. Victoria assures her she can't get this wrong. If she just listens to her heart, everything will be okay. Victoria tells Claire someone from the funeral home is coming over. Claire asks what her memorial service was like. Victoria tells her it was in the hospital chapel, and Cole made all the arrangements. He was so strong, even though his heart was breaking. He read a poem that gave her comfort. She asks Claire about the dream she had about her dad. Claire dreamed she was a little girl and heard carousel music. The carousel was there, but there was only one horse. There was nowhere for Cole to ride, so he told her to go ahead. As she went around, she kept getting older until he was gone. Victoria swipes away a tear. Claire assures her it was like him telling her it was okay and life will go on without him. She decides she wants to read the same poem Cole read for her at his service. Victoria thinks he would love that, and she would too. Victoria and Claire meet with the funeral director and choose an urn to hold Cole's ashes. They'll need to wait on the service until their family members are back in town. Victoria gets a call from security. Someone has come to pay their respects. Danny and Christine eat at society, and he teases her about her big appetite. Christine missed her favorite comfort foods on the road. He kisses her, and they agree it's nice to be home. They go over Lucy dealing with her loss fairly well, but admit they're worried about Daniel. Christine feels that Daniel has started to open up to his dad since they've been back. He's put his daughter first, which left him no time to process his own feelings. They believe he's doing that now by channeling his grief into music. Danny knows a little something about that. Cricket tells Danny he's his son's hero. Christine wonders if getting a job would help him. Danny teases that her mind thinks like Phyllis. She swats him and complains about the redhead going to France. Danny thinks he needed space to figure this out on his own. Christine harps about Phyllis running off, and Danny reminds her she's also dealing with her own trauma. Cricket admits that she wouldn't wish what happened to her on anyone. They talk about Tracy, and Danny hopes she doesn't doubt her beautiful heart because of Martin. He'll call her later. Christine thinks she must be lonely. She then goes back to griping about Phyllis going to kiss up to Dumas. Danny thinks it's a good opportunity, but Christine complains she's gone radio silent when his son needs her the most. Danny wants to talk about anything other than Phyllis. He suggests Christine focus on him, or better yet, the two of them. He asks if she's free this evening for dinner, dancing, and romance. She says, yes to all three. In the park, Tessa tells Daniel to hold his guitar as he would a close friend. He tries it, and his playing improves. He feels it. They high-five. Mariah happens along and stops short when she spots them. Tessa swings into a song about getting hurt by her love. Mariah flashes to canoodling with the older man in the hotel lounge, and then to holding the pillow and crying. Tessa turns and sees her standing there. Mariah turns to leave, and Tessa tells her wife not to run away. Mariah didn't want to interrupt their lesson. She tells them the song was beautiful. Daniel says the words were all Tessa. She's a patient teacher who forgives any and all mistakes. He explains they were just finishing up, thanks Tessa, and leaves. Tessa turns to Mariah and says, "It's good to see you." Mariah asks, "Is it?" Tessa says the only one who hates her there is her. She tells her about Arya falling and scraping her elbow. She wished she'd had 2 kisses to stop the hurt, one from each mommy. She knows something is going on, but she doesn't have answers for her because Mariah will not open up and tell her what's going on. Mariah feels she's making the right decision for all of them. Tessa reminds her that Arya is brilliant. It takes 2 to heal the hurt. Tessa complains that she keeps pushing them away. She feels she's losing the woman she loves and has no one to hold her. Mariah knows this is the right decision. Tessa doesn't. She has no idea what led to this decision in the first place. Mariah deserves her anger. I get it! Tessa's so glad she can understand what she's feeling when she has no idea what's going on with her. She can see damn well how much she's hurting her, but it's not enough to get her to open up. Maybe we should make the separation permanent. Mariah hopes she doesn't mean that. If she could be with her and Arya, she would. Tessa asks why she won't tell her what's stopping her. Mariah doesn't want it to be that way. Tessa asks, for the last time, why? Mariah can't tell her, so Tessa tells her to go off and figure this out. She can't promise she'll be there when she gets back. Tessa walks off with her guitar, and Mariah sits down. She remembers smothering the older man with the pillow and cries. Daniel meets up with Danny and Christine at Society. They think he's off, and he says he has a friend going through something. He wants to help fix the problems, but sometimes it's better to back off and let people find their own way. Christine tells Daniel she's always there for him, and Lucy, and then leaves. Danny tells Daniel that tonight is the night. He's going to ask Christine to marry him. She's the love of his life, and he can't imagine living without her. Danny circles back to Daniel grieving someone he loves, but his son assures him he's fine to hear him talk about the woman he loves. Danny admits he thought he was pushing it by asking her to go on tour, but he couldn't stand the thought of being away from her. Daniel doesn't think asking someone you love for something you need is selfish. Danny says it became something they were doing together. We make each other so damn happy. Daniel admits it's sometimes hard to be around the 2 of them. Danny's sorry, but Daniel assures him he's teasing. Danny says being on the road with Cricket was like a metaphor. The detours got him to where they are now. Daniel is glad they can talk like this. Danny is always there for his son no matter what. You are going to find your way, I just know it. Daniel would like to find love and happiness again someday. Just then, Tessa walks in. At the tack house, the funeral director leaves as Nate comes to the door. Victoria lets him in, and he tells her and Claire how sorry he is and asks if there's anything he can do for them. He knows the family is out of the country. Victoria invites him to stay. She tells him Cole's death was unexpected, but they got to say goodbye. Claire admits she left the room. Nate and Victoria reassure her that Cole knew how much she loved him. Nate asks if she's spiritual at all. Claire says she's not and can't imagine praying. He urges her to talk to her dad and say everything she wanted to say. I promise you, he'll be listening. Later, Victoria thanks Nate for coming. This is going to be such a shock for her family. She's glad they're still friends. Nate is too. They embrace and he leaves. Once alone, Victoria walks over the mantel and looks at a framed photo of Cole. Dear God, thank you for bringing that wonderful man back into my life again. And thank you for letting him be a father to our beautiful daughter. She prays that Claire will find the strength to deal with this loss. She's been through so much. They both deserve to find peace in their lives. In the park, Claire sits and looks up at the sky. She tells her dad she came to say goodbye. She says she's sorry she wasn't there with him in the end. Claire didn't want him to feel any more pain, but she also didn't know how to let him go. She'll miss him every second of every day. Claire knows he'll watch her go around and around in this life. If he visits her dreams again, that would be nice, just as long as he's there. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. On The Young and the Restless, Phyllis is going to have her loyalties tested by Cain. Where will Phyllis stand, and who will get thrown under the bus? Does Phyllis owe anyone any loyalty? Phyllis is one of the more polarizing characters on The Young and the Restless. You either love her or hate her. Phyllis's current storyline has her trapped in the south of France, but not in the same way as the others. Cain Ashby claims to be considering offering Phyllis a position within his organization, But first, he wants a show of loyalty from her. Who is she ready to betray to get what she wants? Is she ready to make that sacrifice to get what she desires? To be honest, it's not much of a sacrifice. The only one Kane mentioned that gave Phyllis pause for thought was Nick. But does Phyllis owe anyone any loyalty? Where was Nick when Phyllis needed him? He was protecting Sharon. The fans and viewers have brought this up in the Soap Central message boards. What do the people think of Kane's test of Phyllis's loyalty? Soap Central message board member Shulover says, "So she's been ordered by Kane to betray Nick, and after being confronted by Nick, I'm curious as to what she's going to do. I'm sure she doesn't want to hurt Nick. However, she hates Victor. Plus, she loves to brag about how great she is, and if indeed she helps Kane with his coup, she can then throw it up in everyone's face. So, will she go along with Kane and his plans, or honor her loyalty and love to Nick? What say you?" Member SoapFan54 added, Tough decision for her. But the sooner she realizes she's in the same family status as Adam is with the Newmans, the easier it will be for her to make a choice. Nick broke up with her this last time, because he chose his family over her, and he always will. Valued contributor Cloverleaf commented, "Things haven't even started to get sticky for Phyllis. She doesn't know anything yet. Just a few ideas, but nothing concrete. Kane certainly wouldn't trust her yet. As for down the road, Phyllis will have to make a decision. I think it's all going to depend on who and what she's being asked to do. If it involves Victor, she probably would be happy to betray him, but if it's Nick, she may have to wrestle with her conscience a bit more. If I had to place a bet right now on whether Phyllis would betray Nicholas or not, I'd bet no. We will need to see how this plays out. But Phyllis has been let down and betrayed more than once by every one of the people present in the south of France at the estate of Aristotle Dumas. Phyllis won't have any issue sending any of them down the river, except maybe Nick. But Phyllis needs to prove to herself and her fellow estate guests that she is just as capable as any of them and that she's not to be underestimated. How do you see this panning out? Leave a thought or comment below. On The Young and the Restless, tomorrow, Tuesday, July 8, 2025, Victoria is comforted by someone from her past. Mariah and Tessa ponder their future, and Danny preps to make a big decision. We've got the photo spoilers of what's coming up. Daniel has been happy to be able to spend time with his dad, Danny, while his mom, Phyllis, is out of town. But Danny and Christine didn't just come for a visit, although Cricket doesn't know that yet. Danny and Daniel meet at Society, and Danny confirms that he has a surprise planned. As he told Daniel on the phone before he came to town, Danny is ready to propose to his longtime girlfriend, Christine. Despite his own heartbreak recently, Daniel has nothing but the best wishes for his dad and hopes the secret proposal goes well. Danny and Christine have a decades-long history together. Although they weren't always a couple, their friendship and love have endured, and eventually they found their way back to one another. Christine knows that Danny can be full of surprises, and he's romantic. But little does she know that today he's going to combine the two and sweep her off her feet. Meanwhile, another couple is not faring so well. Tessa has tried to be as understanding as she can, but Mariah isn't making it too easy. When Mariah acknowledges how betrayed and angry Tessa feels, she explodes at the imbalance in their relationship. Mariah is taken aback when Tessa loses her temper and mentions making their separation permanent. Will that jolt Mariah into realizing she is about to lose her marriage? Or will she insist on continuing to keep her secret from her wife? Phyllis is on the verge of making the deal of a lifetime with Kane, and what she does next may shock the socks right off of Young and Restless fans, not to mention everyone in Genoa City, but no one more than Red herself. As is wont to happen with Phyllis, she pushed and pushed Kane to his breaking point, and a curious thing happened. Rather than banning her from his presence for life, he instead confessed his grand plan. To her amazement, it was bigger and bolder than anything she had ever imagined. Kane is plotting to take over, not only Chancellor Industries, but all of the major corporations in Genoa City, including Victor's Newman Enterprises. While it may seem a daunting, if not downright impossible goal, Phyllis was quick to jump on the bandwagon and promise Kane she was willing to betray any and all of the main players, including, but not limited to, her dear ex-husband, Nick. Completely caught up, she began envisioning such pie-in-the-sky ideas as taking over Newman and becoming Victor's boss. Looking at it from Phyllis's point of view, what's not to like? She'd get to stick it to Billy and Sally, Jack and Diane, and most importantly, Victor, who once switched out her husband and lover for an imposter. Moreover, she'd achieved the status in Genoa City that she has long desired. After all, she's been very vocal about proving to the haters that they've always underestimated her. But what if there's a giant twist ahead? Phyllis is a lot of things, but disloyal isn't one of them. She's loyal to a fault with those she loves. That includes Daniel, Summer, Lucy, Harrison, and Nick. Phyllis declaring to Kane that she would betray Nick was instantly suspicious. In addition to being loyal, she's very clever and cunning. Phyllis would have quickly realized the significant danger that Kane presents. The expression on her face, despite the words coming out of her mouth, really said it all. If our hunch is correct, Phyllis clocked the threat and quickly saw the opportunity that had presented itself. There's a much better way to prove herself to the haters than by aligning herself with Kane. And that's by saving all of Genoa City from him. Phyllis has seemingly convinced Kane that she'd be loyal to his cause because she's power-hungry. That gives her the inside track on his plans. She can use that to her advantage as she plots to ultimately upend his scheme and save the day. Another clue that Phyllis, to everyone's shock, including her own, will do the right thing? Nick warned Phyllis she was at a crossroads when it came to deciding her future, and Young and Restless spoilers indicate that Nick and Sharon will team up to help her. It's always fun to run into someone we know, and when that someone happens to be a person we enjoy spending time with, then it makes the encounter all the more pleasant. While out and about, the Young and the Restless, Eric Braeden, happened across a very special person in his life, the actress who plays his on-screen daughter, Victoria. The CBS soap vet posted the cutest photo with Amelia Heinle as the two were out for a meal, yet not together. It was so nice to run into sweet Amelia at a local restaurant. Their former castmate, the bold and the beautiful's Don Diamont, who played Brad on the Genoa City soap for over 20 years, jumped into the comments to deem them two of my favorite people, as fans gushed over the photo. While Edie Montagano Thompson noticed something very special and stated, "A very human picture with real human love and kindness between you, blessed," Veronica Jean added, "I can't imagine walking into a random restaurant and seeing not only Victor but Victoria." Braeden, having played the Newman patriarch since 1980, has worked with Heinle since she took over the role from Bold and Beautiful's Heather Tom in 2005. Since then, the father-daughter duo has shared many memorable moments, some good and some bad, and they, along with the rest of their family, continue to be a force to be reckoned with. For the Wednesday, July 9th episode of The Young and the Restless, spoilers photos show the scene over in France is getting more and more explosive by the minute. One would think a garden party across the ocean would be enough to have the Abbotts getting along. But nope, not when it comes to Jack and Billy at least. The men get into a tense exchange in front of Diane and Sally, and it's one for the record books. Will these brothers ever get along again? Also sharing a tense moment are Kane and Phyllis. They'll have a little chit-chat of their very own. Red is gunning for an ally, and she's sure Kane is the exact right man to be on her side. Will she get her way? Meanwhile, Sharon and Nick decide it's high time they step up for Phyllis. That woman needs some gentle guidance and a whole lot of wholesome friendship. Who better than her ex and her ex-nemesis? Nick and Sharon love teaming up for the greater good. It makes them feel all warm and cozy inside. "Hey, Phyllis, help is on the way, dear." Lily used to be a warm and caring person, but she's become cold and rude. What happened to her? Lily's attitude has changed dramatically over the years. She seems to be a lot angrier these days on The Young and the Restless, and her sudden change in demeanor gave fans whiplash. Lily has every right to be angry these days. Her ex-husband, Kane, revealed himself as Aristotle Dumas. He's been playing a long con on the residents of Genoa City. Now, he wants to acquire their businesses, which has complicated Lily's feelings. In addition, Amanda has been working with him. This was the first time that they met. Yet, she's not shaken up by his true identity, like everyone else has. Lily can't trust them. She feels like this is the ultimate betrayal. That's understandable for her to be raging. However, fans want to know the real reason for her rage. They noticed that she was cold and aloof these days. Some fans don't even see the chemistry between her and Damien. Lily needs someone who can warm her ice-cold heart. Lily finds out that Dumas is her ex-husband, who is still in love with her. But instead of being smitten, she's been angry. It's likely that Lily's personality changed after she went to prison for the car accident that caused Hillary's death and that of her unborn child. A traumatic moment like that is likely to harden you. Before those times, Lily was a much lighter character. These days, she acts like she's better than everyone else, especially since entering the corporate world. She could even be using Damien to wield some power over Kane. Sadly, Damien could be the one who could end up getting hurt in this dilemma. She's trying to prove to Kane that she's moved on when he still has a hold on her. What are your thoughts? Do you think Lily's personality dramatically changed? What do you think is the reason behind her rage? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. A shocking move for Jack. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Wednesday, July 9th demonstrate that Kane can create surprises in France even when he isn't there, as Phyllis picks up a pair of very surprising champions. Phyllis loves to shriek at the heavens about how alone she is, how unappreciated she is, how no one is on her side, how no one recognized her genius, and how nobody loves her the way she deserves to be loved. Meanwhile, Amanda was the one who got her the invitation to Kane's party. Billy defends her to Sally, and even Nick, whom she's jerked around for decades, is civil to her. But the real surprise is that now she has Sharon in her corner. Nick and Sharon may be co-parenting their kids together, but now it looks like they're about to start gentle parenting their toughest case yet. Phyllis! You know who else needs gentle parenting? Billy. Or at least, Billy believes he deserves it. Jack isn't even Billy's father, but he's enough of a parental figure that Billy takes all his rebellion and resentment out of on him. All Jack has to do is suggest that he doesn't think Billy has done everything right every minute of every day, and Billy melts down into an epic tantrum, so Jack has learned to just pat his little brother on the head and back away slowly. But there is just so much holding his tongue Jack can do when Billy continues to make lousy decision after lousy decision. Jack has hit his limit, and he has an ultimatum for the abbot who always thinks he knows best. He really is more of a Newman in that regard. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Audra Charles refused to give Nate Hastings that whole story of her deal with Victor Newman. Nate suspected that Victor was using Audra. However, she would never confirm that. Audra refused to allow Nate to accompany her, only confirming his suspicions. Nate never asked anyone to spy on Audra. However, there is no way that Nate's family is going to allow Audra to come onto another man without making sure that he knows the truth. Nate's family has always had their reservations about Audra. Audra's actions toward Kyle Abbott certainly confirms that. Audra has been making advances toward Kyle during this entire trip. Sally Spectra has noticed this as well and called Audra out on it. No matter how much Audra tries to deny it, it is obvious that she is trying to seduce Kyle again, and everyone can see it. Will this be the last straw for Nate? Audra is not happen to just be with someone who loves her and wants to be with her. Audra wants to be rich, and that matters to her more than anything. Nate has to wonder why he isn't enough for Audra. Why does Audra have to everything she wants, no matter who she has to partner with to get it? However, Nate is not happy with Audra's choices. Nate will be very hurt by his discovery. Nate believed that he and Audra got past this. Obviously, Nate was wrong. Once Nate learns about Audra's deception, he will be devastated. Nate believed that he and Audra had a future. Unfortunately, Audra has ended any chance they had of remaining to be a couple after all of her lies. Victor promised to help Audra launch Vibrante if Audra could cause Kyle to do something that put Kyle in a compromising position that would break up himself and Claire. Unfortunately, Holden Novak is about to take care of Claire on his own. Holden may soon be discovered creating a distraction. Now that Claire's father has died, she is very vulnerable. Spoilers say that Holden will lie to Claire, so it is likely that Holden will end up taking advantage of her. However, Audra's betrayal will be the straw that broke the camel's back when the truth come out about her plan with Victor, And just exactly that she had to do to get it. It's not suspense, it's frustration. The Young and the Restless, July 8th, episode was full of stories reaching a climax. What a shame everything that happened before now was off-screen. Victoria mourned Cole, Claire mourned Cole. They both lamented how tragic it was that they'd lost the man with whom they'd formed such a happy family in the years since learning Claire was Victoria and Cole's long-lost Eve Nicole. It was so sad. Or maybe it would have been, if we'd gotten a chance to spend more than 7 seconds with this oh-so ecstatic family. Most of their bonding happened off-screen. Heck, even most of Cole's dying happened off-screen. And now we're expected to care? Danny spent an episode telling Daniel how happy Christine makes him. They are so happy. Daniel agrees. They are so happy that it's hard for Daniel to be around them. Maybe the show thinks it would be hard for us to be around them too, which is why they've barely shown us a giddy and in love Danny and Christine. We'll just have to take Daniel's word for it. At least when it comes to what in the world happened to Mariah while she was out of town. That makes it necessary for her to separate from Tessa. And Arya, we believe that the show is deliberately trying to keep us in suspense. But the flashbacks we're getting are more confusing than intriguing. Why hire an actor with the soap pedigree of Michael Swan if all he's going to do is laugh evilly and squirm under a pillow? We can certainly hope that, when the truth finally comes out, all of Swan's evil deeds won't remain off-screen too. The Young and the Restless spoilers tease that Lily Winters has a sexy fantasy about her ex, Kane Ashby, despite her passionate kiss with Damian Kane. Lily thinks that she is ready to move on, but is she lying to herself? Lily wants to believe that she is through with cheating Kane, but her mind says otherwise. Here's what could be in store for the beautiful Vixen. During the week of July 7 and 11, fans will watch as Lily confronts her past with Kane, including the pesky feelings that keep surfacing. When Kane appears in her bedroom train car, is he real or imagined? Either way, Lily can't deny that she has Kane on the brain. In this juicy scene, Kane has his clothes on, but Lily is in her sleepwear. What transpires next is everything. Will Kane tell Lily that their connection is for all time and inevitable? Or will he tell her about his fear that someone is after him? Kane told Chance Chancellor that someone wants to kill him, and Lily is aware of this. It could be that Kane gives Lily some news about this premonition, even if it's in her dream state. If Lily does dream of such an exchange, we predict that she bolts awake and is scared that the dream was a harbinger of ill intent. Even if she doesn't want to be in a relationship with Kane, she doesn't want any harm to come to him. At the same time, Kane masquerading as Aristotle Dumas upended Lily's life. She has been cawing non-stop about how insensitive and inconvenient this all is for her, but we doth think the lady protests too much. Clearly, Lily is obsessing over Kane, whether she wants to admit it or not. This will affect her blossoming relationship with Damian, and it will be interesting to see how he responds to all of the drama with his ex-boss and new boo. Explosive, The Young and the Restless spoilers hint that Lily could be drawn back into Kane's orbit as life in Nice takes a dastardly turn. Tell us why in our fans. Would you rather see Lily with Kane or Damian? Phyllis's desperation for a job has fans questioning her wealth. Phyllis is one of the many strong-willed businesswomen on The Young and the Restless. Throughout the years, she's built up an impressive resume working with Genoa City's elite, while also pursuing her own ventures. However, Phyllis's wealth is raising suspicions among fans after her recent behavior. Phyllis has built quite an established career as a businesswoman. She's worked with Jabot and Newman, helped launch Restless Style, and owned the Grand Phoenix Hotel. Between all her jobs and ventures, one would assume Phyllis would have acquired a lot of money. Recently, Phyllis has been anxious to go into business with Aristotle Dumas Kane. Phyllis's behavior raised suspicions with viewers, who spotted clues that she might be having financial issues. Why is Daniel acting like Phyllis is broke? Didn't she make a ton of money selling the Phoenix to Lily? Asked one user. Daniel hinted that things were tight for them when he mentioned the cost of the trip to Nice. Another fan replied. She had to pay a ton of money back to Nick, and she paid 1/2 of money to Stark to help her play dead. Phyllis hacked into Jabot for Tucker to pay back the insurance company. one viewer wrote. Phyllis should have but like another character on the soap. They like to forget that these people have money, another fan argued. Whether Phyllis is having money problems or not remains to be seen. One thing is certain, Phyllis is going to be a key player in Kane's plan for Genoa City's business district. Phyllis's deal with Kane will get her back on top of the corporate world. But will it come at a price?